Hello everyone and welcome to the Gunpla Network. I'm the Spicer, and today we're doing something a little bit different, and I'm kind of redesigning or kind of making comments, I guess, on the designs from Gundam Seed Freedom that have been released. But first, a word from our sponsors over at Canadian Gundam. Because maybe you don't like these new seed designs and you want something classic, maybe original recipe freedom. Well, they're going to have you covered. They've got all your Gunpla and plamo needs covered here in North America. If you're in the US or Canada, they've got flat rate shipping to you, they've got a private warehouse option, and they've got a vast catalog they restock regularly. So when you're checking that vast catalog for Freedom or maybe some older seed kits, don't forget to use the promo code Gunpla Network to save yourself 10% off. I'm going to do at least just work on my own to kind of redesign some of this stuff, recolor it, make fairly minor changes, but still. And we'll put them somewhere. If you guys want them in a video, I'll go through breakdowns, or if you guys just want to see finished product, we'll put them on the community page or something. But we got to start, of course, with our main guy here, the Rising Freedom. And this is one I think I have the most problems with, just because it feels like it's quote-unquote inspired by the Freedom, but just changed a couple of things, but way worse. So for starters, we're gonna get rid of these stupid fins out here on the shoulders. I know the Freedoms in the past have had shoulder vents. I think that's way too big. And that's still consistent with what's in the animation and the model kit. It's just they're not that big, but they're way too big in my opinion. So yeah, getting rid of that, no go. I'd probably recolor things too. I'm not sure how. The all blue isn't terrible, but I just feel like if you're going for the Freedom, you're kind of just too brightly colored. I feel like not really sure, especially when you're using this color and you've had carryover color wise on the Freedom and Strike Freedom from the wings to the torso, but not here. It's just a weird choice. I'm not really sure why. Losing color on the head, also strange. And then the legs are just pretty much the same thing. They're a little more rounded, but they're kind of the same. You get the Destiny gauntlets. I'd probably get rid of those as well to kind of match them a little bit more to the Immortal Justice here. But you do get the beam shield, and then you get the horrendous looking big shield that I also don't like either. I'd kind of just settle for one or the other. If you're going to do beam shields, just leave it this way. If you're going to do a physical shield, get rid of these, go with something like this, and just do the big dumb shield. But yeah, biggest thing, take those off, maybe restructure the backpack a little bit, remove some of the stuff on the back, recolor it, get rid of the gauntlets. The Immortal Justice, mostly perfect. I really don't have a lot to say here. I think this is kind of the culmination of Atherin suits, and if Atherin doesn't pilot this, I'm going to be so upset. I'm not going to be mad that Shin's piloting it if that's the case. It's just, this is everything. From the Aegis, to the Justice, to the Savior, to the Infinite Justice, it just all vibes in here. I like the two-tone on the arm. This is a little bit more reminiscent of the Aegis, so it's kind of fine, but if these don't really serve a purpose, they're just a little big. Head's great. Probably recolor the little chin piece here, but not a huge problem. This little blue streak would be kind of cool if it was the neon green, but I'll take it. Beam sabers are a little big, a little weird shaped, but it's a melee mobile suit, so, I'm fine with it. Outside of that, really nice. And the big dumb shield I don't like either, but, it is what it is. Then you have the Guan here, and this one I don't dislike. I think you could leave it and it's fine for the most part, and especially in animation, I think it looks good. But the head bothers me, the backpack bothers me, the shoulders bother me. So I would 100% start by getting rid of these little extra horns here. And I have seen one person, I'll try to put the Twitter or X picture or whatever here of someone who just done a rough sketch of redesigning it. And it actually looked really good. He had 3 points here. I think if you're going more original again, maybe scale this down, maybe look more like a helmet. But yeah, going 1 point I think is fine. I would get rid of the backpack and the shield or the missile things and just put them in the shield. But We get rid of the backpack. I think it gets much closer to like the silhouette for a very melee focused suit that you would kind of want. And yeah, I know this is a little slow. Bear with me here. But yeah, I mean, if you get rid of all of this here and you focus in on maybe bringing the shoulders in just a hair, like, so maybe just like that, you get a like much more melee centric, really thin, small suit, which is really what the original Guan was, right? And this is so far what we've seen in animation. As I kind of do the same thing here. What the Guan is. It has the big shield, which has a super sick beam spinning effect thing. Put the missiles from the backpack in there. We've seen that with some of the other Guan stuff. I'm trying to think of like the Guans a lot and stuff from like Build Fighters. And yeah, I think that's fine. Like, the big beam saber is a little confusing, just because like most Seed melee weaponry has a physical component, but if you're gonna go really strong beam, kind of like Epion-esque, I think that's fine. But I think that's way better for like a melee-centric mobile suit. Is it a little basic? Yes, but I think it keeps more in spirit with what the Guan was. Now we get to the Goof Menace here, and the Goof actually don't have too many things to say for. I think it's a good design, kind of off the bat. I erased a little bit of it, but it's fine. It's just the wing. There are a couple of things I've changed. So we know it's a Luna Maria Hawk suit. That's fine. I'm totally cool with that. I would like a big gun, and you do have that in the model kit. So it's a little confusing as to like why it has, and it's like shown more prominently with the regular beam rifle, which I don't think looks as good as the regular Gelgoog rifle, and these backpack weapons. Yeah, the backpack is fine. I think you could keep those, but I would get rid of the weapons on the backpack. I get that you're kind of going for a Fatum unit type situation, and this is maybe like a generic Fatum unit thing with the Guan and the Gelgoog here. But I'd think you'd do something similar, where it's just like smaller cannons that pop over the shoulder, because it's effectively what happens here. This almost kind of reminds me of like the Jin CQ backpack as well. I would get rid of these little bits here that are sticking out. I know I'm erasing part of the backpack, but you know, sorry. I would change the face. I'd probably make this, get rid of this tubing, get rid of the little vent in the front, and probably get rid of the fin, to be 100% honest. Like, if we're going back to kind of this old school Zaft type vibe, I think just embrace that. Don't put the horn. And then I'd probably, and I'll do, like I said, individual redesigns for some of these anyway, but I'd probably kind of keep the Gelgoog torso here like one piece. I know it's not great looking, but it's kind of a rush job. Have the venting go all the way across, have a big consistent piece there. You have the cockpit down here. And you maybe do that for the Guan too, is make this one big chest piece, but outside of that, I'm pretty pleased. I don't think there's a lot that needs to change here. I think it's just little minor pieces. I think you could keep the backpack, but I'd get rid of the weapons. Then we get to the Force Impulse, which is probably the most boring, because it's just literally the Force Impulse. And they've done so much work in putting different packs with the Impulse Gundam to make like the Destiny Impulse. Then you have like whatever the white one was called, I can't remember. I don't know why we didn't get one of those. Like, I know this is probably not going to be piloted by Shin, or if it is, that's like a huge downgrade from the Destiny. I'm sorry, Shin, but like either redo it in like the Destiny colors and maybe make it like one set thing. Kind of like a Perfect Strike situation where it's got like the Destiny backpack, Destiny colored. Maybe have like the arm redesigned to where the gauntlet fits on it or something. And then kind of go from there. But yeah, like the Destiny silhouette pack, the Destiny Impulse Gundam or whatever it was called exists. So it's just weird that we get this. Now, if in contrast, this is some jank busted suit by the time this movie happens, I would just redesign it to look jank and busted, right? Like, I mean, I guess that's maybe what they tried to do with a desaturation in the real grade, but I would make it look way worse. But we don't know the story, so we're kind of working on it. Now for the baddies, which are unfortunately really copy and paste. So this guy, honestly, I wouldn't change anything. I think he actually looks really cool. The line art's a little deceiving. The shoulders are a little bit bigger here. They're a little bit more tailored in on the model kit. The legs remind me of like the Howloon Gundam from G Gundam, which is Master Asia's original Gundam, and same thing for these. I don't think it looks bad. It's just like something we haven't really seen in Seed before. So it's fine. I don't think it clashes too much with like any of the design aesthetics that have existed prior. It's just a little different. Almost kind of like a Viking vibe too. Interesting. But yeah, I would leave this guy alone. Like, I think this is fine. Like, yeah, sick. Great. Looks. It is weird they don't have eyes though. Like, I would probably add some kind of eye effect in there. We'll just go ahead and do that real quick and see, because I think that would make like a massive difference. And maybe it will, but we've seen like the trailer doesn't have any. I think yellow would probably be a good one. You know what? Just make like the whole faceplate. Like, I think that looks much more interesting. And then we get to the copy and paste dudes, and this is really kind of a bummer because like you have these colors distinguishing. It's very Super Sentai, which usually necessitates like individualized weaponry, slightly different designs for their helmets, but these are just copy and paste from what we've seen. Same loadout, beam rifle, like anti-ship sword type sword, and a shield, and they're all physically the same unit. So what I'd probably do, just like really simply, and once again, I'm maybe going to go more in depth with these later, like take the horns off of like one side of one and the other of the other, just kind of like make them a pair. Then maybe take the horns all the way off of one of them, and then put maybe 3 horns on another one. I'm not really sure, but like having something that can distinguish them, I think makes them at least a little bit more interesting if you're not going to have unique weaponry. So I don't think they look bad. I think they're fine, but you know, if this was a series, I think this kind of stuff would make a bigger difference, but or maybe different badges on the shoulders or the chest or something. But for a movie, they're not going to get like a ton of screen time anyway, so I think it'll be fine. Also, same deal here, like give them some kind of eye coloration. Like this big black abyss in here is just not, like, it's kind of intimidating, but they just look deactive because of what we're so used to with other stuff, so it's a little weird. But yeah, so those are kind of my thoughts. Like I said, if you guys want individual design videos, like I know I've got like 4 different recolor and kind of like redesign ideas for the Rising Freedom already, and I'm kind of working my way down. Let me know in the comments. If you just want to see the finished product, we'll figure something out there. But I'm going to be working on these anyway, so yeah, let me know. Anyway, thanks for sticking with me, guys. I really appreciate it. As always, I've been the Spicer here for the Gunpla Network. Do your best to stay safe and keep on building.